September 30th, 2023. It is currently, what time is it? 6, 7, 8, 8:18. And welcome, guys. If you like the setup, we are here at the Moro campground, the Crystal Cove kind of tent site and camping. Here sitting on the trunk of my car, except for those that are watching the video. But if you're just watching the audio, what's up, guys? I had planned this out to be a lot more higher quality, but I bought an adapter so I can plug in the podcast setup to the car, and it didn't work. But you know what? We learn as we go, and honestly, we just keep moving forward, because if I just gave up, we wouldn't be here shooting this episode today. But gonna open up my little notepad. What's up, guys? So welcome to my show. To be honest, we don't really have a name just yet, so you guys will probably know the name of my show before even I do. But I figure, you know what, I just want to start it out. And the reason I wanted to start this show for people that are tuning in is I have been deciding that I want to start this journey into becoming a content creator, someone who is, I guess, paying the bills essentially from just you know, brand partnerships and social media jobs, and to be honest, that whole kind of grand scheme of it all. And I've been kind of trying to find what was a good kind of pathway, or if I can take any nuggets or tips from someone else, like what could I do. And the more and more I searched, I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything that like told me what's like step A, step B. I couldn't find anything that told me like if you're a guy as opposed to a woman, what you can do. Because the reason why I say that is I found so many like courses and master classes and just like online like courses you can take, and they're all about like, you know, female content creating. Or I literally took one course called the Boss Girl Boot Camp, the only guy in there naturally, and you know, kind of showed me that like there really isn't anything that like paves the pathway for at least the guy that wants to get into content creating. So I figured, let me just start off this whole podcast by it being a journey, being a documentation of what I do, what it took me to get there, how long it's taking me, and hopefully my plan is just record this every week or every 2 weeks or every time that I have something to update you guys. There's something from here for you to learn and to just apply to your business or your own content creating when you want to get into it. And so I want to start off by telling you, at least from this point right now, what the end goal is going to be, you know, when this show kind of ends, basically, or I hope it never ends, but where I plan on taking myself. So to kind of recap, yeah, I do want to be a content creator, but to be honest, my goal, my dream, my end goal is to become like a lifestyle content creator, a travel videographer, not so much that like, you know, makes a mini commercial of a location, but rather myself in those locations, you know, sharing, being able to like partner with brands and let the consumer see what the experience is, what like you get out of staying at places or going to places, like from my perspective. So that's what I want to really do. And also just like being able to like travel with family, travel with friends, and being able to like use that experience to like document it and pitch it to brands. And so that's kind of where I want to get into, and it's a little bit more complex than that, but I think for now that's kind of like the main gist, you know, and we'll learn as we go. But to put it in simpler words, as long as I can be making money with a camera and I can just be every day is just something different, I'm happy. You know, I don't see myself doing the same thing every day, like having a typical 9-to-5 job. I really don't yet. Right now I'm blessed to be able to just work and as of right now just always be doing something different and apply to different jobs, not at different jobs, but you know what I mean, have different projects and work with different people. So it's really cool right now. So it'd be kind of cool to just share with you what it took for me to get there. And so let me see, I wrote down my vision of where I want to get in life, kind of explain that to you guys. And I wrote down like who I will become. I assume that's a little bit different if I wrote it down last night. So for you to kind of get more context about me, my name is Joaquin. I am 22 years old. I think in 3 weeks I'll be 23. So by the time this drops, actually no, this will drop probably in 2 days. I'm 22 right now, but I started videography. I would want to say, man, if you really want me to go back, I started doing photography almost all my life. My dad was a semi-professional photographer. He took classes, he did photo shoots, he got the good amount of equipment, and I just always had a camera around me, and I was really fascinated, and I love the idea of just like documenting pictures about where you're traveling and your stay and all these different things. And I decided that this is something that like I want to do, and I did it little by little. I would like take my camera everywhere, or technically my dad's camera. Once I kind of convinced him that I really want to get into this, he gave me his, and he like lent it to me. I ended up buying my own later. And it's funny, once from there I started like working, doing photography, getting like paid very, very little, but like getting paid to do kind of stuff. And I'll get into it later, but through just saying yes, I accepted a job doing a video. I like spent 100% of the budget just buying equipment for the video. And you know, the client loved it. I really loved it. And I said, you know what? There's so many photographers out there. I think video might be the future. And it was cool because like, I was like, you know what? There's not that many videographers around, but this is before Instagram stories. This is before Reels, before TikTok, everything. And so I'm kind of glad that I kind of got into it way before it became like a industry standard, because I feel like once I do kind of commit to this, you guys like the sounds? I don't know if you can hear it, but there's like birds chirping and everything. I don't think I told you guys, I'm sorry, but we are here at the Crystal Cove campground. We're Crystal Cove, I think Moro campground, and right here off of Newport Beach. If I could flip the camera, I would show you that the water is like literally right behind me, but for the sake of the setup, this just worked out better. And I kind of just want to start car camping whenever I do these podcasts. I just got a Tesla, for those that are just listening, and there's like this whole idea of like camping in your car, sleeping in your car, and just being able to go anywhere with it. And I really loved it. I literally tried it out last night for the first time, and it was fun, you know, like there's actually a lot more space than you think, as long as you stay organized. It's like so spacious in there, but I do kind of want to get a roof rack now. So that might be the next upgrade for the car. But yeah, that's why we're kind of outside. We're like listening to just nature, and if you're tuning in via video, you get a cool little scenery to look at every time you hop on. But yeah, so going back to the videography, I decided to get into it, and quickly I realized, like, you know what, this is kind of what I want to do with life. I want to make money with a camera. I want to be like filming things. I want to take pictures. I want to just like be those people that like get paid to document things for other people. So that's what I did. So yeah, so quickly I want to talk about like why content creating for me. And I want to quickly talk about like, what does financial freedom mean to you? And because that's what a lot of people do. Like they say like, oh, I want to get into like content creating, or like UGC, which is like user generated content, which is where like instead of you posting it, you give the videos to the client and they post it on their Instagram. And you know, Bitcoin, Forex, all these like trading kind of ways of making money is what quote unquote is like financial freedom. And real quick, I wanted to at least have you think about what financial freedom means to you. Because at least the definition is, financial independence is the status of having enough income or wealth sufficient to pay one's living expense for the rest of one's life, without having to be employed or dependent on others. Earned income earned without having to work a job is commonly referred to as passive income. So right off the bat, it doesn't matter what job you have. If you're working, that's not financial freedom. But I think that's like more like of a concept, like a way of seeing life. Because to be honest, like, you know the term, like if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. For me, that is financial freedom. You know, like if I don't have to like hate my job, if I'm able, not if I don't like to, but if I'm able to wake up every day and say, you know what, I'm excited to work today. You know what, I am ready to be, you know, doing whatever I'm going to be doing today. Partly, I think that is part of financial freedom, because if the bills pay and you're having fun doing all of it, so what if you're working? You know, that's kind of like the fun of it all. And same thing, you know, like let's say with content creating, if you guys do want to get into it, it like barely pays the bills and like you're getting by. But like, if you think about it, one, if you're having fun, and two, you know, you're able to just do it every day, that's like kind of like how you know you're like in the right spot. Because everyone's like thinking like, man, like I'm not making enough, I want to make more, all these different things. For me, at least, like the pave that I'm going down, like if I'm having fun, and when I look at the credit card statement, at my bank statements, at like my subscriptions, and I see that everything's paid, I'm not in debt, I haven't borrowed money, and I at least have some money in my pocket, I'm doing good in life, you know, like, and I'm 22. So I don't have to be, I shouldn't be like stressing about this stuff, but I should definitely be planning for just like the future. So for me, like that's kind of my goal with like this whole concept of financial freedom, this whole concept of like loving what you do in life and working hard. That's like kind of where I want to go. So let me see, what else do I have written down to talk to you about? And okay, cool. So for those that don't know me, that are getting into this show, I figured I'd tell you a little about how I started videography, what I did, and to be honest, I'll kind of blend in a lot of the topics that I talk about, but what got me here, you know? So hopefully this like provides an example of somebody that's like doing odd jobs and wanting to get to content creating. So I started doing photography for fun in high school, and from there I joined this club. I think it was called Indie Pictures Club. It was like a club about filming, but to be honest, my camera couldn't even do video. All I did was take pictures. So I kind of signed up as like the BTS photographer, the ones that get like pictures of people working, and they loved it. So like they took me on. And in high school we have like these like little events called like rallies. I think they have it like every 2 months or so. It wasn't too often, but like we had these events, and being part of this club allowed me to kind of be on the floor, take pictures, and you know, be part of the rally. And from there I kind of just like got like all these BTS pictures, and I had fun. I like look for my friends, take pictures of them in the crowd, and little by little the yearbook club kind of caught whiff of me. They like noticed me. We liked you know, nodded at each other, made space, but like nothing of it. Until like one day, I guess their photographers kind of messed up. They like either wiped the card, or I think it was that like none of their pictures came out good. They all came out blurry. And so they like hunted me down. Like they like asked people through like pictures, like, hey, who was this guy right here? See this person taking a picture right there? Looking at their own pictures. Who was it? And just through the vine, they ended up finding me. And they asked for my card. They're like, hey, like, are we able to use your pictures? We'll give you credit. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, absolutely. Like, what an honor. That's kind of cool. And from there, that's when I kind of discovered like the cool part of the yearbook club, taking pictures, going to events, all these different things. And so 2 years later, going into senior year, I said, you know what, I want to think about applying. So I kind of went to the yearbook club. I said, hey, for my extra class, I would love to like get into yearbook, and here's my resume, here's my application for the yearbook, yada yada, like, hope please accept me. And it's like, you know, applications went in and they went out. They did end up accepting me, and they actually said, hey Joaquin, you know, on the reel, you're kind of like the most experienced person we have. I know it's your first year, and usually this is like a 2-year process, but would you be interested in being the photo editor-in-chief of the whole yearbook? So you're the one that's in charge, or like that's responsible to going to all the football games. You're the ones that's responsible to like going to as many sports as you can, taking pictures of it all, and you'll be the main hub of like organization and making sure like the yearbook's all in order and everything about it. And I said yes. I was like excited, and you know, doors opened up. I started going to all these events. I started I went to like this student government day. I like just documented all of it, and like the city council noticed me. I like, you know, did my best to like have them remember me and like present myself well. And after a couple months or so, the city council and I kept like bumping into each other, and how do you say it? Just like remembering each other. Hey, you're that one photographer. Oh, hey, you're that one woman, Moran. Hi, yada yada yada. Until eventually, I was through this one event. Them and I were just talking, and the mayor at the time, or actually the vice mayor, she came up to me and said, "Hey, Joaquin, we really love your work, and honestly, we think that you're a great person. And if you're interested in starting a photography career, we'd want to see, would you be interested in being like the unofficial official, or the official unofficial like city council photographer? So like go to our social events, we'll pay you, document our things, make a little video if you can, yada yada." And I said yes. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, absolutely. Couldn't even drive back then, didn't have my license, so I was like stuck to just asking my parents for a drive every single day, or just walking places. I started bringing my skateboard to school just so I could make it from school to like the city hall. Whole mess, but it was worth it, you know. And from there I started building connections, I started getting experience. My name started being on like the newspaper photo credits. That was really cool. And I just kept doing what I knew to do. And from there and this is like the big part, this is like the part that kind of changed it for me. I kind of started working at Disneyland. So like 2018, started working at Disneyland, had my first part-time job, but decided to not do PhotoPass because I didn't want to like turn it into a job real quick. I just worked at a little bakery. I was a little cashier, and I decided to keep doing photography for fun on the side. Not really worry too much about money. If I could make $1, I would. But one of my friends, she like asked me, hey, you know, usually how much would you charge? How much would you charge to like Photoshop these pictures of a little baby birthday? Like we took our little sister to like the beach, we took pictures of her, but like there's people in the background and like the sand looks a little messed up. Could you fix it? So me being a yes man, I said, yeah, absolutely. Like, don't worry about pay. Like, you're a friend. I want to do this for you. Let me fix it. And then from there, I think I like edited those 3 pictures for like an hour and a half. I was like super new to like all this like Photoshop stuff, but I said, you know what? I want to learn. So I decided to edit the 3 pictures. I gave it back to her, said no charge. And for one, she absolutely loved the gesture, but mainly she loved the work. She liked how the pictures look. They were on an iPhone, so I even edited them a little bit, not too much, and she thought they looked great. So from there, she said, oh my God, actually, we didn't know like, you know, pictures would come out this good. We were wondering, do you take pictures for quinceaños, or like a quinceañera? Do you take pictures for these kind of events? And I said, oh, I can, absolutely. You know, I have like event experience. I'd be happy to like shoot your event, please, of course. And so she said, okay, how much do you charge? And I think I said like $150. Keep in mind, I was like probably 19. I was like 19 years old. $150 was like pretty good amount. It was like almost my full check at Disneyland. Is this too dark? Should I make this brighter? Let me see. Okay, hopefully that's good enough. We'll see. And anyways, she said, okay, absolutely. I'd love to take you up on the offer. And I think a day went by. And then she texted me back. She said, hey, do you do video? She asked me, do you do video? At that time, no, absolutely not. I did not do video. I had never even touched videography. Actually, you know what? My camera didn't even take video. So I was like, sorry, out of luck. No way I could film this. But I said yes. And that's kind of where a big mindset in my mind was like, you know what? I'll say yes. I will figure it out to the last minute. But for now, yes. I do video. She said, okay, how much would you charge for video? And me being so young, I said, damn, I think $100 is a lot to ask. I think I'll do it. I said, hey, I will charge $250 for a full day photo shoot plus a video recapping all of it. Yes. In an instant, she said yes, absolutely, right away. So that sounds great with me. And so she did it, she took it, and I said, oh man, maybe I could have charged more, but you know what, I'm happy. I got them a job, they paid me, and paid me up front even then. I like showed up to the event, slapped $250 in my hand, we trust you, give us some video when you can please. And I just went about my day. And to be honest, that kind of like put me in a bigger work mindset because like I already got paid. Now I have to prove myself. I cannot disappoint. So from there, I did the job, worked my butt off. In fact, my cousin Amelia was with me, but I don't think, did I pay him? I don't think I paid. I'm sorry, bro. I don't think I paid you because I used all that money to buy equipment to shoot the freaking video. But I did the event, I shot the video, they loved it. And ever since then, I said, you know what? I want to get into video. Back then, keep in mind, it was horizontal video. And I literally went to my school, asked to borrow a camera for the weekend, asked to borrow one lens for the weekend. I asked to borrow my dad's lens, and I did it, you know? My dad's camera took the pictures, and the other video camera took the video. And honestly, it was like, I did pretty good. I like really tried. I like watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos, and it went stellar. But from there, it's been kind of like, from there it all just escalated really quick. Because keep in mind, that was like 2019. I think it was 2019, 2018 or 2019. That was only like 4 years ago. So from 4 years to now was a very quick and like insanely uphill climb. As in like, the more I said yes, the quicker I grew. The more I said yes, the more opportunities came into my life. And I decided to, is it gonna start raining? I think it's gonna start raining, oh well. I said, you know what? Sorry, where I was going with this is, I wanna tell you about a little bit why I grew too quickly. Now, although I haven't blown up or anything, but financially, it became a little bit stressful because I was saying yes to a lot of opportunities. I was saying, you know what, I'll figure out what I need to do when I get there. And it was really hard because I had a lot of equipment that I was trying to purchase. And oh man, do I need to hide the camera? No, I'll be okay. Yeah, I decided that I have to keep investing into my equipment. I had to keep investing in different parts of the business, and I'll figure it as I go. But it was really hard to know, and so that's kind of like one of my little advices is kind of figure out, like planning out what's one thing that I can always use, what's the most versatile, what can I adapt, and like find reasons of how I can use this. Like not make excuses, but like convince yourself you can use material number A for this. And as soon as it makes sense, one, you kind of have to now commit to like those different options. So like buying that equipment makes sense, but also you know, giving a longer life to the equipment that you're purchasing. You know, it makes no sense buying a super close-up lens if you're going to shoot real estate, and vice versa. It doesn't make sense to buy like a real estate lens if you're gonna do lifestyle or if you're gonna take pictures of animals. Like maybe you could use it, but it's not the best tool for it. So quickly I learned that was like one of my own little lessons that I decided, you know what, I have to see what I want to buy, and does it make sense 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And now I'll call it a bad habit, but I refuse to buy anything less than like the best possible option. So for example, like if there is the new Apple Watch Series 8, Series SC, but there's a new Ultra that came out, damn, I should probably buy the Ultra, because for one, I don't want to like spend all this money and then not be able to like have like all of like the bells and whistles, and like it becomes obsolete in like 2 years. But if I can buy one thing that'll last me obviously more than 2 years, if it's equipment wise, like one of my first lenses, I bought my first lens in like 2019, at the end of 2019 or beginning of 2020, beginning of, like, I think it was like April of 2019. I said, I'm going to buy my first lens. It was like $1,000. And I told myself, am I going to use this? How am I going to use it? And if I am going to buy it, shit, might as well make it be like the red lens, like the highest tier of like Canon lenses, because I just don't want to like outgrow the lens. But if I can have a lens that I can grow into, it makes a lot more sense. So although it's a no-brainer, I'm a really big advocate of like not buying what you can afford right now. Like if you can't afford it, don't get it just yet. Like don't make yourself have to buy something twice for the sake of having it now. But like obviously within margin. So like if it's something else, if you can't buy a Tesla but like you need a car now, of course. But like if it can wait, if you can work a couple more months and you can buy a Tesla, yeah, go for it. You know? And that was like one of the first things I did. So like to kind of give you a real world example, my first lens I ever bought was the 100mm macro, because I wanted my photos to quickly not be as relatable to an iPhone, and I wanted my pictures to look like insane. But also I was like, shoot, if I get a macro lens, I can take video really far away. If I get a macro lens, I can take product photography pictures. And if I get a macro lens, I can take pictures that are really freaking sharp. No brainer, right? And that's kind of like when like the law of diminishing return kind of comes into play. As in like the middle ground lens that Canon sells is like $400. But if you get the red lens, it's like $970. That's two lenses in one. But you know what? I'll tell you guys, I still use that lens to this day. It's still one of my best lenses in my kit. And like it's one of my favorite lenses. And it's kind of like not sentimental, but for me it's like I want to take it out because it's like the first lens I ever bought. And it's like really, really it's cool for me to think that, you know? And there's like so many other parts to it. Like, you know, is it worth buying certain MacBook when I can just wait and get another one? Or is it worth buying these like little wooden handles for my camera if I'm not going to use it in like 2 years if I buy another camera? And there, to be honest, there has been. Like there's been equipment that I've bought that like has to live now on another camera because I can't just use it on this one that I have right here for you guys. Like it doesn't make sense. I can't like convert it. So some of the stuff is a loss, but some of the stuff is beneficial. So one of my tips, if I'm to give you, like after doing this for almost 5 years is make sure that when you're starting, every single investment that you're making, you're able to use it in the future. If I upgrade camera bodies, can I still use this lens? If I buy a heavier camera, can I use this tripod? If I want to take these pictures, is this drone the best one for right now? If I want to buy this cable, is it going to make a difference if I buy a better microphone? And they're valid questions because, again, with like the law of diminishing return, the more you pay, the less you get out of it. So do find the middle ground, but also like convince yourself that it is worth it to like make that extra jump, because money comes and goes, you know, like whether you spend a little bit on a lens or a lot on the lens, you're probably going to spend the rest of the money anyways. That's the reality of it, you know, like if I have $200 saved and I want to spend $100, most likely that extra $100 is going to get used somewhere else. But if I'm mindful of it and I say, you know what, this investment is going to last me a while because this extra $100 is going to stay with me for the next 7 years, no brainer, right? You know, so you're going to get that money. Money's going to come back as long as you're working for it. So just why not spend as most as you can on something that's just going to stay with you? You know, if it's food, that's way different. It's going to be gone in like 12 hours. But if I buy a lens, this tripod right here that's like on you guys, like that you guys are watching me with, I've had it for like 3 years now. I'm probably never going to upgrade it because I bought the best that I could at the time. I waited to buy a good tripod, and here I am, still using it. So yeah, maybe I can like tell you more about like different parts of my my journey in another episode. But quickly, I just want to talk about 3 inspirations that have like inspired me to do what I'm doing today. So for one, as all of you guys know, in the photography and videography realm, there's one certain man called Peter McKinnon. Peter McKinnon has been a big inspiration to me since day one, because I always looked, it's funny, now that I think about it, I'm about to say it, but every time I looked at his YouTube channel and he has a new post, I would hate it whenever he posted a video, or like a video editing tip, or like an After Effects tip, or something that had nothing to do with photography. I'm like, man, why don't you just make videos for your photography community? You know, like, aren't you a photographer? And little by little, I just kind of just scrolled away whenever I saw a video, and I would watch him like less and less and less because he's posting more and more about video. And then that's when he collabed with another photographer named Alan Palander. And in another episode, I'll share with you how I got to meet Alan Palander. Now I got his phone number. He's in my DMs. Actually, I'm in his DMs, but more importantly, he's replying to my DMs. How I got there. And most importantly, like the influence he had on me. So like, because Alan Palander is more of a photographer, I learned more about him. He does a lot of like lifestyle, and like he's like the kind of guy that gets paid to just travel the world, go to Dubai, Paris, Montreal, everywhere, and just do these things. So he's kind of like someone that like has paved the ground for me in that aspect. But you know, he's an adult. He had a career. He started doing architectural design, and then on the weekends he would just use his $6,000 camera to like take pictures and grow. I don't got $6,000. I don't got a full-time job like that. So like, I kind of took it as a grain of salt, figured out what I want to do in life, and just apply that to me. And as I got more into video, that's when I started staring back into Peter McKinnon. And like, oh shit, you know what? I'm kind of happy he posted these videos. I kind of enjoy watching these like premiere editing tips now because I kind of need them now. So those have been my two big inspirations. But I'll leave you with this. There is one more person that I really wish, when I have time, or to be honest, when I make time, I want to go back and think. There's like one more man who's like been a big inspiration to my life, and his name is Mike Farrell. Mike Farrell is like one of the school photographers that like the yearbook used to hire for like getting the actual professional sport pictures and professional rally pictures. We used to call him Santa because he just walked around with a little beer belly and had like a long beard like Santa, and it was all white. So we call him Santa. And 2 things that he really did impacted my life was, one, my dad used to always tell me that the camera is a tool. The camera is smart. So why fight the camera? Why don't you just use aperture priority? Or if anything, the main one he told me to use was program mode. Program mode is where like the camera does the majority of everything. It's not like automatic where it would just do what it thinks it's best. You kind of tell it what you want to do, and it'll like work from there. And one time we were taking a group picture, and all the little photographers and Mike were lining up to like take the picture, and all of us are just fidgeting with our settings and all this stuff, and he just pulls up, grabs the camera, zooms, boom, 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 fires away, got the shot. And he noticed more of us struggling, and he just walked up to us with like a smile on his face, and he just said 3 things that like convinced me. He said, just use manual. Just use manual. And like what he mean by that was like, take the jump. Because a lot of us photographers are too scared, you know, like telling the camera what to do means that only you can like F it up. Only you can like tell the camera what you want to get, what you're trying to do, and all the accountability is on you. So I said, you know what? He's right. I need to stop fearing the camera. Sorry, Dad, but I need to start, you know, not finding the easy way or like letting the camera do half the work. I need to do all the work. I need to learn the camera. I need to make these calls. I need to be the one that like chooses what to do. And I did from there. I decided to start learning manual. Every shoot from that point on, I was like learning the camera. I was messing up. I was making mistakes. But you know what? All those mistakes taught me what not to do. All those mistakes taught me what to do in events that I am going to mess up. It showed me that like in these ever-changing scenarios you're in, all these different circumstances, there's a solution, there's a change, there's a workaround to it. And that's kind of helping me to where I am now. Like I've learned that if I'm in scenario A, I can do X and Z. But if I'm in scenario B, I can fix it by doing option B or scenario Y. You know, it's really taught me, and that's like one of the things that I recommend to a lot of photographers that are starting. Start with programming if you want, but as soon as you decide this is a hobby that you want to do, and you want to get good at it, and you want to get paid for it one day, start manual right away. The more you build the muscle, the more consistent you are with it, you will learn the camera. You will learn to just be able to pick it up and know exactly what settings you should do. Oh, I'm going to go up and take a picture of these leaves. I know right away. ISO goes down to 100. So exactly. So like, take a picture of this scenario. I want to take a picture of my car, all these like plants in the sky. Immediately, I need to know. I need to zoom the lens to like maybe 15 to 24. The sun is out, so I should probably change. Bring the ISO all the way down to 100 immediately, and then I need to probably go to like an f8 to an f8 aperture, maybe 10, and then my shutter speed should be no lower than 200. So as soon as I make those changes and I see that it's not working out, okay, maybe I bump up or I bump down the aperture, or maybe I increase the shutter if it's too bright still. From there, it's like a baseline. So as you start taking these pictures, you learn the baseline. You learn what's the starting point. You learn what you need to do to have like a clean slate for the beginning, and then move on. So for me, that was like, just use manual. That's what it taught me. That's what it led to me. And honestly, I'll never forget it to the day. However, this man was a big inspiration to me because he was one of the people that taught me to believe in people in the beginning and invest in them and hope the best and expect nothing in return. And what I mean by that is, or the story I want to share you before this episode ends, is I started growing this connection with Mike. I got his phone number. He asked me if I ever had questions to text him, which I did. I learned quickly to take advantage of every opportunity that I have, use all the tools in my belt, and I would just ask for his opinion on things. And once I decided that, you know what, I want to start stepping up, I want to grow my equipment, the first thing that any photographer needs is a good tripod. And so I had told him, I was like, hey, because he is an ambassador for Manfrotto. He was a partner, he like works with Manfrotto directly, and he gets a bunch of discounts at their store. So I told him, Mr. Farrell, I am deciding to really get into photography. I am ready to start investing in my own equipment. However, I don't want to buy cheap equipment first. I would love to see if I can step into something that's good quality and buy a good pair of sticks. That's what you call it, a pair of sticks. And he said, you know what, Joaquin, let me see what I can do to help. Let me talk to the store and see if you can use my discount for their products. I said, perfect. Okay, yeah. Like, I don't know if I have to be the one that like buys it, or I don't know if I can't be the one that buys it. If you can pay for it, if you can buy it, I will pay you back immediately. I will figure out where the money will come from. And he said, I appreciate that. Good call, Joaquin. Let me let you know. And after a day or two, he sends me a text, and he actually calls me out of the classroom or something like that. He like had me come to like the activities director office, and he says, hey, they like called me up on like the little alarm or like the little speaker, told me to get there, and there he was, and he had like this big ass tripod on the table. And he said, hey man, look, I got a little surprise for you. One, I talked to the store. Unfortunately, no. You aren't able to use my discount. And with full transparency, they told me I can't be buying things for other people, which I will respect. However, I want to gift you my old tripod. And in fact, to make sure you do grow well, I want to give you a tripod and a monopod. Monopod is like a tripod but it has one stick. So when you're taking sport pictures and you have like a big ass lens, you can just put the monopod and like the camera's there, and you can just swivel. It's kind of really cool. And he said, I will give these two things for you for free under two conditions. And I think about these conditions every day. Not every day, but when I do think about where I've been, I think about it a lot. Mike told me, one, you have to promise me to never sell it, never give it to anyone else, keep it, and when you're done using it, give it back to me. But for as long as you're going to be using it, it's yours. And condition number two, I believe in you so much that I want to give these things to you. I want to give these two tripods to you, but you're going to promise me that you become a proficient and excellent photographer. Those were his words. One, never sell it or give it to anyone else. And two, become a proficient and excellent photographer in your career. Good luck, man. And that really kind of resonated with me. I think about that all the time. I think about the dude. In fact, I actually tried to take him out to dinner a year ago. And he texted me. He's like, hey man, I shattered my leg a couple months ago. I can't walk, but maybe when I'm healed. Life went on and I never ended up hitting up again. But you know what? Maybe after this episode I will. But yeah, I decided that from those words really touched me. And I said, you know what? I am going to become a proficient photographer. I am going to be excellent at taking pictures. And I will hold up my promise. For as long as I have that tripod, I will not sell it. And I still have it. It's super heavy. It's like rusting on the screws. But I use it as much as I can. And it just reminds me of like my day one. That was like my real day one. That was like when I first started. And it's cool, you know. But that's the first episode, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys got to hear a little bit about me, what I started doing. Moving forward, however, I do want to start updating you guys on what I am doing for my career, what I'm doing to become a content creator, what my plans are. I think episode 2 I might record it today or tomorrow. We'll see when, but it definitely won't drop the day after this one. But I'm excited, guys. Thank you for like sticking around. If you're hoping to like learn about me, this is like a good one. And if I ever become someone, this is me at 22, guys. All right, well, I will let you guys go. Take care. And peace.